Elon Musk didn't come to Austin for politics. Not this time. He was there for the Clean Code Civic Tech Summit, an annual gathering of developers, policy wonks, and data ethics crusaders. But Musk had brought his own agenda, one he hadn't shared with anyone, not even his closest aides. It started with a single tweet. We're seeing strange donation anomalies. Same cards, different names, 50 plus times. Stay tuned. The tweet barely made a ripple, but inside Musk's private terminal, a ripple was quickly turning into a riptide. He sat in a glass-walled cube above the main conference hall, tablet in hand, fingers moving like a conductor over encrypted files. The name kept appearing, Randy Best, Plano, Texas, retired, 73 years old, zero social media, no known political activity, and yet, according to Federal Election Commission data, Mr. Best had somehow made 53 donations, totaling $16,240 to the campaign of Representative Jasmine Crockett through Act Blue. This doesn't smell like decentralization, Musk muttered. He ran cross-matches through X, formerly Twitter user verification APIs, then layered on metadata from the Open FEC API. Same card hash, different names, same donation patterns, same IP clusters, over and over. It wasn't a bug, it was a fingerprint, a system, and it was hiding in plain sight. South Dallas, same day. Representative Jasmine Crockett was on fire. The GOP wants you to believe we're the villains for raising money from the people? What they hate is that we found a way to compete with their billionaires. She said it with fire, with rhythm. MSNBC was live. The applause roared. What Crockett didn't know was that, while she was making headlines on TV, her name was making history in a code audit 200 miles away. Plano, Texas, 10:45 a.m. Attorney Sheldon Daniels parked 2 blocks from a modest brick home. He didn't wear a tie, didn't carry a briefcase, just a manila envelope and a body cam clipped to his collar. He rang the doorbell. A woman in her 70s answered. She smiled nervously. Yes? Hi, ma'am. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm a local attorney. I have a question about some recent political contributions. She squinted. Political what now? Daniels opened the envelope, showed her a printout of the donation log. These show over 50 separate contributions to a candidate named Jasmine Crockett, all under your husband's name, totaling over $16,000. Her smile vanished. We didn't donate that. We don't even vote in that district. We're retired. Mind if I record that? Go ahead. This is shocking. Daniels nodded, stepped away. The footage would go viral in less than 24 hours. Capitol Hill, 7 p.m. Senator John Kennedy poured himself a bourbon. His staff had just shown him the footage. You know what this is? This ain't just fraud. It's fraud in a Sunday dress. With pearls. He dialed a secure line. Get me PamBondi and Elon Musk. Tonight. Austin, 7:15. PM Musk watched the same video from his encrypted server. He didn't blink. He knew what it meant. This wasn't a rogue glitch. This was an engineered illusion, and it had replicated itself across thousands of names, cards, and donation entries. We're not tracking money, Musk said, eyes narrowed. We're tracking intent. His phone buzzed. Incoming call, John Kennedy. He answered. I hope you brought matches, Elon, because I think it's time we burn this whole thing down. The data wasn't leaking. It was weeping. Elon Musk hadn't slept in 30 hours. He didn't look tired. He looked possessed. 6 monitors, 3 neural networks running in parallel. One question, how do you launder political donations without getting caught? It was a simple question, until you realized the answer wasn't a trick. It was a system. He had over 8.2 million ActBlue transactions scraped from the public API and overlaid with identity anomaly markers. What emerged was terrifying. 79,314 entries used the same credit card fingerprint but appeared under different names. 42,000 donors were over 75 years old with no known email or phone ID. IP clusters traced to donation farms in Illinois, Maryland, and New Jersey. The deeper they dug, the clearer the pattern became. This isn't fraud by mistake, Musk said. This is architectural. Capitol Hill, Conference Room C, 10:32 a.m. Senator John Kennedy paced with a printout in hand. Pam, Byron, look at these timestamps. 2 seconds apart. Same zip. Different names. PamBondi scanned the spreadsheet, face like stone. It was run like a database migration. Someone scrubbed and injected. Representative Byron Donalds leaned back in his chair. So what's the move? We make it public, Kennedy replied. If they're not afraid of the law, make them afraid of the people. Musk? Already prepping the live stream. Meanwhile, MSNBC studio, New York. Jasmine Crockett smiled confidently into the camera. Let's be honest, Republicans don't like losing to people who look like me, and when grassroots power scares them, they cry fraud. Don't you, Worm? Are you saying the FEC probe is partisan? I'm saying I'm not afraid, and I'm saying the data doesn't lie. We raise small-dollar money because people believe in justice. Austin, 6:03 p.m. Musk went live. No graphics, no fanfare. Just him. Black hoodie, gray background, eyes locked on the lens. Data doesn't lie, but it can be weaponized. He laid it out. A 73-year-old man in Plano made 53 donations, totaling $16,240. 42,000 similar cases across the country. Credit card fingerprints reused across names, districts, even states. He ended with one sentence. If this is grassroots, then the grass is synthetic. Within hours, the hashtag number DonorGhosts was the #1 trend in America. FEC headquarters, Washington, D.C., 8:45 a.m., April 7th. Wanda D. Brown, Assistant General Counsel, wasn't known for melodrama, but the letter in her inbox made her blink. Subject, request for immediate audit, Jasmine Crockett campaign via ActBlue sender, Elon Musk. CC, PamBondi, BCC, 34 members of Congress attached, 238 pages of raw transaction logs. At 9:17 a.m., the FEC issued a formal inquiry. Fort Worth, Texas, 1:13 p.m. Attorney Sheldon Daniels walked into a quiet retirement home. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Musk. You were right. Randy Best wasn't alone. There are thousands more. You started something. Let's finish it. Daniels looked up. An elderly woman waved at him from across the room. He smiled back. He came for one name. Now he carried thousands. But the court of public opinion was only the beginning. The real test was about to begin, not in a lab, not in a live stream, but under oath, on Capitol Hill, before the eyes of the entire nation. Capitol Hill was unusually quiet that morning, too quiet for what was about to unfold. Inside room 2154 of the Rayburn House office building, C-SPAN cameras had already taken their positions. Reporters whispered like gamblers before the first card. Interns shuffled nervously, their hands full of nameplates and bottled water. At the front, a brass placard read, U.S. House Oversight Committee, Special Hearing on Campaign Finance Irregularities. And the witness table held one name that made the whole building hum, Elon Musk. 10:01 a.m., Chairman Byron Donalds gavelled the session to order. This committee convenes today to investigate credible allegations of coordinated fraudulent activity within the ActBlue political fundraising infrastructure, specifically in connection with the 2024 re-election campaign of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. He looked around. Let the record show. The people are watching. Musk sat still, calm, black suit, no tie. PamBondi sat 2 rows behind him, flanked by Republican counsel. On the other end, Jasmine Crockett wore crimson red and stared straight ahead. Her eyes never blinked. Jamie Raskin leaned in toward her. Don't let them rattle you. This is political theater. It better be, Crockett muttered, because I didn't sign up for a public lynching. 10:11 a.m., Musk raised his right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. The room went still. Representative Donalds leaned forward. Mr. Musk, in your live stream earlier this week, You allege that as many as 42,000 political donations attributed to senior citizens across the U.S. may be fraudulent. Can you walk us through what you discovered? Musk nodded, then tapped a device. A 3D map of the U.S. appeared on the room's main monitor. Red dots exploded like a rash across suburban America. We tracked donations using payment fingerprinting across ActBlue's public transaction logs. What we found was that a small number of cards, devices, and IPs were being used under hundreds of names. We confirmed at least 79,000 such entries. Gas rippled. And you believe these were not real people? Not in the way they were listed. Some may have been real, but they weren't the ones donating. Jamie Raskin jumped in. With respect, this is a serious allegation. But you are not an FEC auditor, nor a cybersecurity expert working for the government. Musk didn't flinch. No, Congressman, I'm just the guy who built PayPal and Neuralink and launched reusable rockets. So yes, I think I know how digital systems behave. Raskin went silent. PamBondi whispered to an aide. That line is going to play on every evening news slot. Representative Jasmine Crockett was next. Mr. Musk, do you have any evidence, any direct link whatsoever, that I, Jasmine Crockett, instructed or coordinated this so-called ghost donor network? Not directly, she leaned in. Then say it plain. You have no proof. I have patterns that are too precise to be accidental, and a recipient name that appears $870,000 deep into those patterns. So you came here to assassinate me with implication, not proof. I came here to tell the truth. A pause. And to ask you, Congresswoman, who controls your ActBlue account access? Crockett stiffened. My campaign treasurer, and I don't micromanage every click. Then maybe it's time you did. The room was silent. Then PamBondi stood holding a binder. Mr. Chairman, I request unanimous consent to submit this document into the record. Sworn statements from 6 individuals listed as donors to Ms. Crockett's campaign, all of whom deny making those donations. Donalds banged the gavel. So entered. Outside, the crowd swelled. Hashtags collided. ActBlueGate, Ghost Donors, Musk versus Crockett. The headlines were already writing themselves. But what no one saw coming was what happened after the hearing. A file was slipped under PamBondi's hotel room door. No name, no return address, just a USB and a note. You were right, but it's bigger than her, much bigger. 1:26 a.m. Washington, D.C., Bondi's hotel suite. PamBondi sat at her desk, staring at the USB like it might explode. No markings, no logo. Just a plain, black stick dropped beneath her door with the words, "You were right, but it's bigger than her." She exhaled, plugged it in, and entered a system unlike anything she had seen before. Encrypted folders named after state codes, strings of JSON files, server logs, FTP drops, hashed credential chains. One folder stood out. Crocus Pipe 07. She clicked. Inside were simulated donation flows, complete with timestamps and routing scripts. ActBlue wasn't just facilitating donations, it was dynamically restructuring them. They were rebuilding the donation trail in real time, she whispered. Like blockchain laundering, without the chain. She kept clicking. Behind the folders were call logs, voice packets, audio metadata from meetings labeled only by oblique acronyms. One file name read, DKWHVCONFERFIFTEENSHEHESITATED, then clicked. A male voice, nervous and hurried. We don't need names, just compliant endpoints. Social security numbers, VA tags, Medicare eligibility. Enough to spoof identities that won't fight back. Another voice. And the donation caps? The system auto-fragments any contribution above $250, sends it through rotating subnets. One transaction becomes 20. And Crockett? She doesn't know, just the face. The real channels are buried deep. Pam paused the file, her breath shallow. 8:07 a.m. Musk's office, Austin. Musk was already scanning the logs remotely. Every donation over $250 got broken down into fragments, each sent via sub-processors, he said. Gift cards, privacy wallets, API relays. This wasn't a funnel, it was a washing machine. Sheldon Daniels appeared on video. They didn't just use dead names. Some were alive, but compromised. ID theft, Medicaid databases, even retired VA patient logs. Pam shook her head. They turned the elderly into human shields. Musk added, and you know what really scares me? This wasn't just Crockett's campaign. Who else? According to these logs, 41 separate Democrat campaigns. He clicked another file. Look at this cluster in Chicago, 3,217 donors, all sharing the same device fingerprint. Different names, same card hashes. That's industrial scale. We're not dealing with one rogue operator. We're looking at a sanctioned system. This wasn't oversight. This was architecture. Brooklyn, New York, an ActBlue data center. Down in the server vault, a junior technician named Malik froze as his screen blinked red. Unauthorized remote session detected. He clicked. Access point, Texas, Musk AI node. Malik grabbed his phone and called his supervisor. Sir, they're inside. Shut it down, now. Too late. The damage was done. The digital laundering machine had been exposed. 11:43 a.m. Internal email, DNCHQ. An internal DNC email, marked as urgent, was sent from their operations desk to the communications war room. We need coordinated obfuscation across all major channels by noon. Discredit Musk's credibility. Use prior controversies. Push his stories on platform instability. Deploy verified surrogates for interviews. The email included a file titled Crockett Talking Points, April 11th, final version. Later that day, the DNC headquarters, a senior advisor paced in front of a small group. This goes public. We don't just lose Texas, we lose the map. Then stall it, smear Musk, leak distractions, flood the zone. A man in the corner finally spoke. This isn't just about politics. You opened a portal, and now the machine is staring back. Silence. Meanwhile, in a cloud form, username, red Delta node. Packet trail confirmed. Log sets match from 12 states. This wasn't drift. It was mirrored design. You still think this is a DNC side project? Number, this is infrastructure. Next move? Push to whistleblowers and pray they survive the blowback. Back in Austin, Musk turns to Pam. It's time for full exposure. We let the data speak. No narrative, just facts. Pam nodded. We go to the American people. All of them. Musk opened X, formerly Twitter. He prepped a thread. How ActBlue rebuilt campaign finance into a weapon. That night, the thread went viral. Millions read it. Screenshots. Diagrams, animated flowcharts. Musk didn't speak. He didn't accuse. He showed. By morning, the White House was forced to respond. We take all allegations seriously. But the floodgates had already burst. The country was no longer asking, did it happen? Now they asked, who built it? Who knew? Who approved it? 4:12 a.m., somewhere in Delaware. He woke up sweating. Nathan Keller hadn't used his real name in 2 years, not since the day he quit as chief integration architect at Orpheus Group, the cybersecurity shell that built the digital payment framework now known as the ActBlue optimization engine. I built it to protect donor privacy, he whispered to himself, but now it was everywhere, twisted, repackaged, and deployed by people who used it to cover their tracks. His phone buzzed, blocked number, a robotic voice. Mr. Keller, we know who you are, and we know what you know. It's time you told the country. He sat for a moment, staring at the faded photo on his nightstand, a picture of his daughter at a school science fair, holding up a cardboard model of a blockchain. You always said truth matters, he whispered to the photo. He opened his laptop, encrypted drive, files labeled with pseudonyms, Indigo Router, Glass Loop, Garnet DNC. He clicked them all. 7:33 a.m., House Intelligence Annex, Washington, D.C. Elon Musk, PamBondi, Byron Donalds, and John Kennedy sat in a room with no windows. A manila envelope sat on the table. Inside, Keller's signed affidavit. He says the laundering engine wasn't just a hack, it was feature-built, pre-approved by senior campaign officials and obfuscated through government grants. Pam exhaled sharply. They didn't stumble into this. They engineered it. And the funding trail, Byron asked? Slush grants from the American Infrastructure Recovery Act. Line items labeled as data routing redundancy for electoral security. How much? North of $74 million. And that's just the ledgerhead part, Musk added. There's likely more in offshore proxies. John Kennedy frowned. Reminds me of Enron with better branding. 1 p.m., MSNBC newsroom. Jasmine Crockett appeared live, calm, defiant. Let me be clear, I did not authorize any unlawful data manipulation. This is a tech witch hunt. Republicans are terrified of diverse fundraising. Behind the scenes, her legal team scrambled to respond to new FEC subpoenas. Her campaign treasurer had gone silent. A producer whispered to the anchor, Crockett's district is trending. 3.2 million tweets in 90 minutes. Keep her on and prep a legal analyst for rebuttal. 2:45 p.m., Albuquerque, New Mexico. A low-level Department of Energy staffer named Ana Solana walked into her regional office, only to find it already occupied. 2 men, suits, one badge read, House Oversight Minority Council. Ms. Solana, can you confirm that you personally authorized grant number YRRA-221-C, flagged under Keller's affidavit? I was told it was for broadband election resilience. Who told you that? She hesitated, then whispered, someone from Stacey Abrams' office? Did you question it? Number it came with a DNC memo. It was stamped national priority. 6 p.m., DNC HQ, Washington, D.C., a private meeting. 10 senior strategists, one whiteboard, a list of names under the title Containment Protocol, Keller Solana, Daniels Musk Bondi. A senior voice. Any one of them goes public again, we take the gloves off. This is no longer cleanup. This is survival. Another strategist. What about Crockett? She gets limited cover, but if it snowballs, we isolate. The air was heavy. The board was erased. The list was memorized. 8:17 p.m., Elon Musk's secure channel. He live-streamed again. Only one sentence. Tomorrow we walk into the lion's den. The screen faded to black. A single date appeared. April 14th. Closed-door session. April 14th, 9:03 a.m. Subterranean chamber beneath the Capitol, no press. No audience. Just 8 lawmakers, 4 legal counsels, and 1 man in a gray hoodie. Nathan Keller. He spoke for 90 minutes. He named names. He showed internal memos, deployment roadmaps, emails with embedded kill switches. One document bore a seal, Strategic Data Alliance, Joint Committee Briefing / confidential / executive eyes only. The system was tested on New York primaries, then expanded nationwide. It wasn't just about stealing elections. It was about data domination. A senator leaned in. Are you saying members of this government funded an illegal vote laundering program? No, Keller said. I'm saying they designed it. There was no reaction, just silence, and the weight of a nation shifting. Outside, cameras awaited. PamBondi adjusted her blazer. Musk stepped forward, eyes steel sharp. Today the mask fell. Now it's up to the people to decide what comes next. The crowd erupted. April 20th, 2025. Joint session of Congress. 8 a.m. Speaker. Johnson stood grimly at the podium. The House chamber buzzed with unease. Today we introduce House Resolution 1164, the Political Transparency and Donor Verification Act. It called for full biometric verification for any political donations above $200, mandatory third-party audits of all campaign donation platforms, retroactive audits on all digital contributions since 2020, criminal liability for knowingly laundering donor data. On the floor, 27 Democrats walked out. CNN called it a political stunt. Fox called it the firewall we needed years ago. C-SPAN just aired the votes. It passed 243 to 187. April 21st, 2025, FEC official bulletin. The FEC formally acknowledged the authenticity of the datasets provided by Elon Musk and Nathan Keller. We have opened full forensic investigations into 17 federal campaigns, including the campaign of Representative Jasmine Crockett under suspected violation of donation laundering statutes. By sundown, Crockett's campaign website was down. April 24th, 2025, MSNBC panel, prime time. Musk is not just a tech mogul anymore, said political analyst Kara Benning. He's a civil disruptor, and perhaps the most dangerous man to institutional corruption since Ross Perot. On the other channel, Fox News ran with the Chiron, The Musk Files, America's Whistleblower? April 26, 2025, Georgia State University, PamBondi's lecture. Pam stood before 1,200 law students. This wasn't about donations. This was about consent. Consent to be governed by deception or by truth. We chose truth. The crowd erupted. Behind her, projected on the screen, was the sentence Musk had made viral. If this is grassroots, the grass is synthetic. April 29, 2025, Jasmine Crockett resignation letter released. She wrote, "I have been failed by staff, sabotaged by the very platforms that claim to empower my community, and smeared by a campaign of humiliation. But I do not run from accountability." A special election was scheduled. May 1st, 2025, House Oversight Office. Statement from Chairman Byron Donalds. We now have evidence that at least $134 million was misrepresented across 41 Democrat campaigns using compromised digital infrastructure. This was not sloppiness, it was systemic. And it ends now. May 5th, 2025, Elon Musk on X. He posted no video, no live stream, just words. The system cracked. Not because of me, but because enough people chose not to look away. We didn't expose a party, we exposed a process. And the process ends when Americans say, enough.